Welcome to another episode of the Style and Strategy podcast. Thank you all for tuning in week after week. We actually hit the top 100 podcasts in careers the other week. So I'm really proud of that achievement. And really, it's all thanks to you, the listeners, who have been tuning in and really enjoying the episodes. So I am absolutely unbelievably grateful for your support. And I know I couldn't be here without you. So thank you so much. And if there are particular episodes or things that you would really love to hear about or want me to cover off on, please just drop me a note and let me know, because I want to make sure that I keep hitting the mark when it comes to what I am bringing you. So today's episode is really going to be covering off on something that I see a lot. So I want to talk about sort of 5 key areas that are impacting your brand and style when it comes to fit.
I'm Sonya, a personal brand and style coach. My journey began in the corporate world and through lived experiences has led me where I am today. I've walked in those uncomfortable shoes, faced the same challenges and questioned my path to professional success while simultaneously navigating my personal style journey and the challenges that each decade brings. I wholeheartedly believe in the fusion of personal brand and style strategy. My mission here is to provide you with practical, actionable strategies and lived experiences to help you unlock your next level of success through the power of personal brand and style. Let's get started.
So we've all been there, right? Wearing an outfit that just doesn't quite hit the mark. You know, maybe it's the way your blazer fits, or maybe it's the bottoms that just don't sit right. But what if I told you that there are probably 5 common fit mistakes that could be quietly sabotaging your brand without you even realizing it? Well, today I'm going to walk you through them. And just wait until you hear the last one. It's a really small detail, but could be actually something that could unlock your best look yet. So stay tuned for that. Now, you might be thinking, well, why is fit even crucial to your personal brand? And why does it even matter? So let's just get really clear here. Fit isn't just about comfort. And you know, I've talked about comfort and style before, but it's when I'm talking about fit, it's that, you know, initial impression that someone might have. It's that how you're first perceived, because those few seconds can really impact the authority, the influence that you may have when you walk into a room, when you're on a Zoom meeting, when you've, maybe stood up on stage. It can really start to affect your authority, your influence, and potentially impact how you want to be seen. So let me dive into this now. So mistake number 1. So really oversized pieces. Now, don't get me wrong. I know what is on trend, and obviously oversized has played a massive role when it comes to styles and trends of late. But if the oversize is so much so that it's completely swimming on you to the point where it no longer looks like a trend, but actually looks like that outfit is way too big on you, then it can start to really do what I would describe as lose structure, right? And so you might unintentionally be creating a really sloppy, relaxed look, right? Which might undermine your professional presence. And you might be thinking, yeah, but I might be going for that relaxed look. Well, that's totally different. So what I'm talking about here is where you're unintentionally doing that, which could actually give the perception of, I didn't care. I don't take it seriously, right? So it could also show a bit of lack of polish around the outfit that you've put together. And in environments where first impressions matter, then you really want to dial up the structure. It is really important because it's in those types of environments that you'll gain a bit more elevation in the way that you're presenting yourself from your brand perspective. And in those cases, tailoring is always going to be your best friend, whether it's a well-fitted blazer that hits your shoulders just right. It can really constantly elevate the entire look. But I've said it before many times, I think, in posts that I might have put out in social media and so forth. But if you think that an oversized blazer or something like that may be the only culprit for a lack of structure, think about a common wardrobe piece that could also be sabotaging your look. So wait until I get to that. Okay, so mistake number 2 is your pants, for example. So it might have been your tailored pants, and they could be too long or too short. So your bottoms, right? Now, I love a wide leg, long line pant, right? Because they're very comfortable and it also creates the sense of a longer leg. Now, what you just need to be careful of is that Victoria Beckham might be able to get away with a really long pant that drags on the floor, but in a environment, again, where maybe you want to just consider what is your personal brand and how do you want that to represent, that pant leg dragging on the floor, especially if you're going to have to be walking, let's say, concrete pavements and things like that, is not only going to damage the garment, it also could give the impression that maybe you didn't have time to go to the tailor to get it fixed, or that maybe those small details were potentially overlooked, which can again detract from your professionalism because that person, and again, you need to put yourself in that person's shoes, might be looking at it from their perspective. What might they be thinking about? What position might they be coming from? And, if it's making it perceive that your outfit wasn't fully thought through, maybe it's from a practicality perspective, it could be that you're going up on stage and you might trip, who knows? There's a number of different ways, but it's something that could actually impact, from a fit perspective as well. So make sure that you're considering how your pants are potentially tailored to your height, right? Especially then you can try to get more return on investment from your bottoms, especially if you're going to switch out heels and flats as well. Okay. Mistake number 3, let's talk about button gaps on shirts and dresses. So whenever I am styling a client, it doesn't matter what it is for, I am looking at those finer details, right, around how is this item actually fitting? Is it when they're sitting down, it's pulling, and so you're getting those holes as you sit down? What does it look like when they're standing up? Does it look too fitted? And so, there's that stretch pull on a particular top, because those button gaps, which can be very common in fitted shirts, dresses, that type of thing, can really throw off an entire look. So not only is it distracting, but it's, again, something that just can hurt from a credibility perspective. And, how am I making that particular connection? It's distracting, right? Because you might be talking to someone and their eye is catching the fact that the buttons are, popping out and not sitting nicely, right? Because the whole purpose of getting your style on point is, not only you've spent all this time making sure that your colors are right, that the outfit looks great, right? Because you want that person focused on the words that are coming out of your mouth, right? Versus oh, there was something weird happening with the buttons on your top. So, looking at the stretch on a fabric, potentially if you need to put some hidden sort of snaps in there, just to make sure everything is fitting smoothly. And testing, standing up, sitting down, stretching, putting a jacket on. How does this actually fit nicely? So you don't have to be thinking about it in the moment. So button gaps can be tricky, but there's also another fit issue that's even more subtle, and I'll get to that shortly. So mistake number 4 is all around shoes that are too tight. I recently saw the Celine Dion documentary, and there's a quote from her where she talks about, for shoes, I will go through the pain. I'm not going to ask you for the particular size in the shoes. You tell me what size you have, and I'll make sure I fit into those shoes. So tell me if you saw that documentary as well, because I love a great pair of shoes as well. But when they are too tight, if they're hurting your feet, then you're going to get distracted because you're going to be thinking about how painful your feet are during, that important event, especially if you're having to stand up and present, right? Yes, you will fight through that pain, but subconsciously you'll be thinking about the pain that your feet are in and trying to really focus on pushing that pain out to the side. So, don't underestimate that when you are uncomfortable in your outfit, it will show. And how does it do that? Your posture will suffer. And instead of walking really tall, your head held high, you might find yourself sort of, scrunching those feet and limping, or maybe being a little bit more stiff than you would normally do, which will impact on how you're presenting yourself. So, here I am absolutely recommending that you focus on prioritizing your fit and your comfort equally, and do not compromise. It's an absolute no-no, right? I think you may have heard the saying that fit is absolutely king. And so if you feel really comfortable in your shoes, it's going to show how you carry yourself. And now let's get into mistake number 5. And it's all about waistlines, right? And where they don't sit right. So you're probably thinking, what do you mean waistlines? So remember, I've covered some of the biggest offenders that I have seen there. But here's one small detail that I mentioned earlier, and it's a waistlines. It's a subtle issue, but it can actually make or break your overall look. So whether it's a skirt, trousers, or where the dress line is, potentially positioned too high, too low, can actually craft a really unbalanced look overall. So I want you to start thinking about this, because even this can really cause a bit of distraction. And I do focus on this a lot, especially when I'm working with speakers who are getting up on stage. Now, and it's not only for them as speakers, but I want to make sure if someone's got their eyes on them as they are walking around the stage, I want to make sure that nothing is distracting from the words that are coming out of their mouth, right? And the message that they need to get across. And the same goes for when I'm working with clients one-on-one. I want to ensure that I am maximizing by understanding their proportions, where the best way to maximize their figure and their overall look, right? So what to accentuate? Do we want to make their legs look longer? Do we want to make their torso? How do we create balance overall? And the waistline plays a massive role in this. And so can craft, if you be getting it wrong, can actually make a professional outfit look really unfinished. And although this can feel really small, it can take the edge of the authority and, like I said, the balance in the outfit. So ensuring that that waistline really suits your body type, and, whether you need to do some tailoring an outfit or ensuring that it's positioned in that right spot becomes really important. So I've covered these 5 key fit mistakes that I have seen time and time again, which could potentially impact your personal brand more than you think. So remember that fit is more than just about looking good. It's actually how you can project your authority, give you the confidence, and give you that professional edge that you're really looking for. So that last piece around waistline might seem really small, but it can make such a difference when you're aiming for that polished and powerful look. So if you've noticed any of these fit issues in your wardrobe, don't worry, they're easy to fix, and adjusting them or even just keeping an eye out for them going forward now will help elevate how you actually show up, both personally and professionally. So if you've got value out of today's episode, and for more insights like this, make sure you hit that follow button on your podcast provider, or reach out to me if you would like to have a little bit more guidance on mastering both your personal brand and your style. Thanks so much for tuning into another episode of Style and Strategy. I look forward to chatting to you in the next episode.
Thank you so much for being part of this inspiring episode. If you found value in today's discussion, please don't keep it a secret. Share it with a friend on social media, tag me at Your Style Collective, and leave a review. Your support means the world. Join me again next week for another empowering episode of Style and Strategy, the leadership series. Thanks so much for tuning in. And remember, you're already taking that first step towards your transformation journey. See you next time.